a video on part of the pig, which I'm not exactly sure where it comes from. I think, well, it's a spare rib chop joint. Well, that's what it's called in the UK, and I think it's from the short part near the shoulder. I'm just not entirely sure. I think that bit of bone there is part of the shoulder blade. I think. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, it was relatively cheap. What did it weigh? It cost me £12.70 and it weighs 3.3 kilos, and it cost me £3 86 pence a kilo. So I'm not going to do that. There we go. So that's that. And I was curious about it. Normally, from the butchers, they just cut it into chops, spare rib chops. But I was kind of thinking it's tender as long as you cook it slowly. So I was wondering if we can actually bone it out and do something with it. I think that end bit there is the start of the loin. So that would kind of make sense that that's the start of the loin there. Then I don't know what that is. I don't know. I tried to watch a few videos, but they didn't really want to say it. I should have had a chat with the butcher about it, shouldn't I? I should have actually asked my butcher which part of the pig it came from. But I am pretty sure that it comes from the shoulder end. But we'll see. So let's bone it out. I don't know how to bone it out. I'm just gonna work my way through it, and then once we've seen the bones, we might be able to get an idea of where it is. I'm not a butcher. My butchery skills are pretty useless at the best of times, and my knives aren't particularly sharp. So that's my disclaimer. So some ribs there. There's a bit of a shoulder blade there, so we're going to go in and round. So it's just a case of finding my way without wanting to stab myself at the same time. I mean, it's probably why they just cut it into steaks, like chops still on the bones, so they don't have to bone it out. But we've just had Easter, and the butcher was explaining that lots of customers buy this, Eastern Europeans buy this for an Easter joint. Which probably means that they just want a really cheap cut of pork that they can slowly cook for a long time and then have like a big joint of meat on the table, more than it being like a traditional Eastern European thing. You know, you kind of tailor your menu and the joints of beef that you, not joints of meat, not beef, the joints that you use to your budget. Not everyone can afford a roasting joint of pork, so slow braised would be better. It's quite sinuous, to say the least, which means it's certainly going to be a slow cook thing that I do with it. I found a bit of a bone there. Let's see how we go. I was kind of think it's a bit, you know, to see someone doing something badly, it can give you confidence to have a go yourself. So if I do something badly, I think it can give you the idea that if I can do it badly, then you can certainly do it badly as well. There's nothing like to see someone. I mean, it's quite amazing to watch someone who's very good at their job, but once you realise how much work and practice they've had to do to get to that stage, of course, to make it look easy. Yeah, we seem to have come through to the other side of that. No, that's not a shoulder blade. I'll do some research. If I find out, well, I'll ask in butchers what part of where actually this comes from on the pig. That's quite off either, isn't it? So it's at the end of the loin. So I don't know which end it's at. It's not bad. Slow cook that. Well, what we call it, we'll have that. That's not a bad bit of joint, right? Yeah. Right. So I'll have to get myself a job as a butcher. So that's alright. What can we do with that? Well, that wants to come off for a start. That's a tough bit of sinew, so we don't want that. That can come off. That can come off. So it's nice to roast things on the bone, but I think we should roll that and see how it turns out. So I did a boned and rolled pork shoulder. I cut it in half and I rolled it up. It made like a fillet, tornado fillet of beef, and it was delicious. And it was a success. And I've now made a rod for my own back because I want it all the time. So I think we can do something similar with this. So we'll tie it up with some string and then we'll slow braise it and see how it turns out. And it might be nice. So we shall now prove to you that I'm certainly not a butcher by not being able to do a butcher's knot. But I will show you a cheap and easy way of doing a butcher's knot if you don't know how to do them. So it's not even a butcher's knot, it's just an easy knot to do. So basic knot, so you go around once and then you find it doesn't want to hold and you need someone to stand there with you and hold that, or you can't do it yourself, so it's difficult. So what you do is you wrap the bit of string round once or twice, or 2 or 3 times, and then there's enough tension in the string that it holds it in place. So you don't need to learn how to do a fancy butcher's knot, and then just pull those bits together, which creates more tension, and then you can just do that and tie it tight. So there we go. I've done this before in other videos, but I always kind of think no one watches my videos, so I might as well go through the process again. So we go round, do the bit of string once, twice, or 3 times, and then pull tight, and twist around. Oh no, let's go around 3 times. That was around 2 times. So go around a third time. That. Pull it tight. And then that keeps it in place. Like that. So, I'll do it again. I've just got wires everywhere. So, you get the idea. So, I'll go around once, twice, 3 times, pull tight, and then twist to hold that together, and then just a simple knot, and then another knot, and then if you're not tying meat up on a regular basis, you don't need to learn how to do a butcher's knot. And then this should make a nice joint. I mean, you could just cook it without tying it up, but I just think it gives like equal looking portions. So once it's all tied together, you can look at a joint of beef or look at a joint of meat and kind of see how many portions. So you kind of go, so each one of those, it'll hold it all together, and then you just need to slice. So you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably 10 portions out of that. So did we do 2 probably? So we'll do 1 more, because there's nothing worse than watching a video or someone trying to teach you how to, or asking someone how to teach you how to do something, and they just kind of do that and then not tied together, and you kind of go, well, can you do it slowly? So I'm a bit slow, so can you just show me how to do it in slow motion, and I get a better idea. So round 3 times, pull tight, just twist like that, and all you're doing when, well, I'll do another one as well. So that was probably a bit that needs kind of showing it again. So I've got a cold, so I'm feeling a bit bunged up. I've had a cold in ages. It's all that washing of hands and staying away from people. So round once, twice, 3 times, pull tight. Just get that flap of meat. Pull tight, and then we're not twisting, we're just pulling those 3, the string that we've gone round 3 times, just pulling those close together so it creates more tension, holds it in place, and then just do that. 2 of those, hold it in place, and then we'll cook it, and we'll hold together. I should have cut a pork loin chop off it actually. Pork spare rib chop off it actually, but not to worry. And then we can have a think about what we're going to do with it. I'm going to slow braise it in some. I'm going to pot roast it, I think. Or, well, it's not pot roasting, because pot roasting is when you put a joint in a pan with a lid and you put it in the oven, and that's the same as casseroling. So I think what we'll actually do is we'll cook it on top of the stove in a pan of some nice stock, and then we'll slowly cook it that way. So there we go, that's all held together like that. It's got a bit of a crook in it, it's a bit that way, but not to worry. And we'll just put, actually I want a little bit of string on the end just to hold it in place. And then what you can do, you can cook it, cool it down, and then portion it and reheat it that way, if you so want. So that will just hold that together. That's that, and that. And there we go. So that's all held together. About 10 portions there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. 8, maybe 9 portions. How much does it weigh? It weighs, once we've bound it out, so it was 3.3 kilos, and it now weighs 2.5 kilos. So about 800 grams worth of bone and trimmings. Is that right? Is that? Yeah, about 800 grams worth of waste. Well, to worry. Right, so we'll cook that and see how it turns out. Right, so spare rib chop joint is in a pan, and it's got some stock in there. I'm going to cover it with more water. There's enough stock in there, just stock cubes, nothing amazing stock wise. So I'm just going to cover it a little bit more, lid on, and then we'll slowly braise it for how long it takes. No, is it braising? No, it's a casserole lid, really. If you're doing it on top of the stove, it's a casserole. No, it's not. It's stewing it. I'm getting it. Yeah, we are stewing it on top of the stove in a pan, like that. Low heat, gently bubbling away, so it'll be nice and tender. There we go, nice and tender. So the fork goes in easily, and then the weight of the joint pulls it off the fork as you lift it out. That's a good way, a good indication to know that it's tender. So there we go. So I'll let it cool down in the stock, and then we'll have a slice of it tomorrow and see what it's like. And let's have a look at the pork. It's cooled down. What does that taste like? Nice and tender. I'm gonna cut the string off, and we'll take a slice. I'm gonna have some for my tea. So, like I did with the pork shoulder, I'm fed up with peeling potatoes. So it's not gonna be mash, even though it will be nice with mash. I'm gonna do it with I'll cook it with some polenta. I'm gonna go swimming, and then it'll be easy to make some polenta when I come in, and then just warm this up in a bit of the cooking stock, and then see how it turns out. But do we need to see that? Probably not, but you know, we'll kind of have a look at that later. But I'm just curious to see how it's going. It's going to be nice and tender. We'll get an idea of how many portions we can get out of one of these as well. Now, they did say yesterday that it was, although the kitchen was noisy, but it does come from around the shoulder area of the pig. So let's get those out of the way. And then, what kind of portions are we looking at? So we'd square that off. Then we kind of go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That starts to get a bit. Those are kind of quite thick. So as it gets thinner, we make the portions slightly wider. So what was that? That was, lost track. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8. So 8 portions out of about 12 quid. That's quite fatty on the end. Well, it looks it on the outside. Oh no, that looks good on the inside, doesn't it? That looks alright, doesn't it? That looks alright. So we'll neaten that bit up on the end. There. I'll have those for tea, but then we'll just get a better slice. So where did we say? We said there, and then we'll have a look at the amount of meat that we get. That looks alright, doesn't it? That should hold together pretty well. Probably looks to be a bit deeper than that. So what? There. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's about 7 portions out of 12 quid. Something like that. Whatever it weighed, 4 kilos, something like that. I'll have a look on the video. But that'll be a suitable portion for my tea, and then we'll do something else with that later. But it's lovely and tender. No sinews are broken down, so it's certainly going to be nice. We'll see what happens when we heat it up. But also for me, out of curiosity, it's from near the shoulder joint. So if I can't get enough shoulders, I can buy enough in one go to kind of for what I need, I can always buy some spare rib chops as well and do the same type of thing with them, and they'll cook in the same amount of time and look and taste and be very similar. So it's like slow braised pork shoulder, which isn't near the shoulder, you know, it's just a little bit further down, but there we go. Right, let's have a look. Looks nice and tender. Looks more like beef with the colour of that stock that I've warmed it up in. So that's my tea. Let's just have a taste of that. Really hot. If I'm honest, I'm going to say that I preferred it to the proper shoulder of pork, and I think it's a slightly better cut as well because it hasn't got as much fat going through it. So here we go. Spare rib chop, jointed, rolled and slow braised, and then sliced and delicious. A winner.